I felt like I was just another ecom guru, which just infuriated the shit out of me.
The greatest wealth in this country is made through owning businesses, having capital, and owning hard assets. Right.
But the social media respect,
Well, that's bullshit, bro.
it's bullshit, but bullshit that pays really fucking well. They're teaching kids to make money to then spend it to be in square one, which is so fucking stupid.
One of the reasons why I do what I do is so that I can give my money away. Guys, Mark here, back at Shapiro TV, and I am here with a fellow Yid, that means Jewish, okay? And his name is Jacob Levinrad. The kid's a fucking beast. He's a smoke show. He's killing it in what he does, and I've got some amazing questions that I actually took the time and prepared. But I want to thank him for coming down from Boca. I didn't say Boca, it's Boca, okay? He's down here, and he drove down in the rain, and thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for your energy, because I love the fucking energy, too.
Hell yeah. I feel like when people say they think that I do coke all the time, I'm like, I don't, and I love that it's a compliment.
They asked, actually, I said that, somebody asked me how I have so much energy. I said on the live, I said, because I'm doing coke all the time.
And it's when you love your fucking life. That's what I always say to people. Yeah, thank you for having me on. I have a house, too, in Miami Shores, 20 minutes. It wasn't that bad.
Oh, I thought you were coming from Boca.
No, I go to Boca a bit as well, but I'm more based in Miami Shores.
Nice. I love Miami Shores. Yeah. It's a really interesting pocket where you can actually find some deals that you can still make some money on these days.
I have a great deal on the water. Got my wake boat. My nice bachelor 23-year-old life.
Nice.
But I told you I got to get into the real estate game. That's the biggest thing that's held me back from 10 million.
Well, real estate's pretty easy. It's not hard.
That's the thing is I feel dumb because of that. I told you earlier, like I'm very good at making money. And I think a lot of guys...
You have to learn how to keep it.
People don't say that enough online. All these guys are flaunting. Like, it frustrates me. You see all these hypercar purchases lately. They're getting into, like, such retarded short-term rentals on them pretty much. It's lease, but it's their 6-month lease is a fucking... They're renting a car. And they're spending $500,000 to flaunt how successful they are when it's bullshit. They probably can't even buy the car cash. And it sucks. All the guys sub 30, they're not talking about keeping it. They're talking about literally spending your money. They're flaunting this lavish lifestyle, which is like promoting to spend. I always say the purpose of making money is to have it, to not work, not to spend it and have to work again. So that's what I'm learning now in my mid to late 20s. We'll see how it goes.
It's funny because you're 23, and I bought my first deal at 23.
Oh, perfect.
And my mother was my commercial real estate agent, and she set me up on the deal. And it's crazy. Going into my junior year, she gave me a book called Nothing Down by a gentleman named Robert G. Allen. He is the guy that everybody copied. So every one of these gurus in the real estate space applies his principles. And he happens to be a very close friend of mine. And we're writing a book together.
She code.
So, actually his son is my ghostwriter, Aaron Allen.
Sick.
Yeah. So let me ask you the first question, okay? You dropped out of high school at 16. Your mother allowed you to do this, okay? And we know she was tough.
Yeah,
okay?
Tough Israeli.
Why did you know you were going to make it? How did you know that you were going to actually crush it the way you're crushing it?
I'm such an advocate that winners always win. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're someone who has that winning mentality, like, it doesn't matter the sport you try to play in. Look at even Jordan. He was trying these other sports. I found that the person who wins, they're going to consistently win in all areas of life. That's why also so many successful people, they're not fat as fuck. There's a common denominator there. And looking back when I first left school, I had no idea how. I just knew it was so redundant to try to go to school when I knew I wouldn't use the degree. It just didn't make sense. I was getting kicked out. I was a big degenerate. So I was throwing parties. I wasn't a drug dealer, but I was selling Juul pods. Nicotine dealer. I don't know what that's considered.
It's not a dealer.
Yeah, whatever it is. I was upselling mango pods, went out of stock. So I had like $6,000. I spent everything I had buying mango pods for 20 a pack. Juul pods as they went out of stock. And they stopped selling them because they were too promoted to children because it's mango, fruity. They went to just mint and menthol. They were worth like 60 a pack. I kind of determined the price. It was selling on eBay for about the same. And I made like 10, 15 grand. They hated that. That was the big final straw. as well as I was failing out of some of the classes. And I told my mom to give me a semester to try to make 50 grand. I just lived with my mom through my teens. And she kind of said, fuck it, because there was no downside. Worst case, I just skip a semester and go back to school. I think as a kid, you think that school's this precious, like, if you miss a semester or get held back, it's game over. It's not. So I kind of was like preemptively prepared to maybe have to redo a semester. And then I started selling fake AirPods. And I probably had already made 200 grand that first 6 months in gross revenue, maybe netted like 30. And I remember vividly, I had just shy of 50K. I probably had made 40 grand in my Chase. And it wasn't even a business account. It was a checking account.
It's just such a great bank.
And we never even talked about it. I say all the time, like, I'm 23 now, 20, 21, 22, I started filming. And whenever anyone asked me about it, I realized I had told my mom probably a year or two back, it's weird, we never talked about it. Like, it just became our normal. I was just at home every day. And she never was like, okay, let's officially, like, you're not going back. It was just like, I never went back and we never talked about it. And it became our new life. And then at 18, I moved out. And the rest is history. $50 million later.
Wait, so the fake AirPods, is it true that Apple came after you?
They cease and desist. It was so they contracted out a huge legal firm. I forget the exact name, but I have the emails. I have a YouTube video hard proving it back in the early days. But they had a legal firm they contracted out, I believe, because it was just such an issue for them. They had these beautiful AirPods people were knocking off. I was selling black, green, and red versions called EarPods. They looked very similar. And they contracted out this legal company. I'll never forget the morning. I had just gotten back with Duncan. I had the same, every day, same thing. Wake up,
back with Duncan.
drive, get Duncan, come home, start working. And it was maybe 9:30 a.m. My mom wasn't home. And I got a knock on the door. Older gent, probably 60, glasses, weird hat. And he just said, is my mom's name here? And I was 17 at the time. So the store was under my mom's name, that I'll see all the stuff. I said, no, but I can give it to her. He had like, I remember like, it wasn't an envelope. It was a stack of papers. Like 20.
With a clip on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a process server.
He gave it to me. It wasn't he didn't serve because it wasn't a lawsuit, but it was a cease and desist. And I emailed them. I didn't even tell my mom. I was just too sketched to. And I just said like, yo, I'm 17. Like, you're going to ruin my life. All they wanted, they weren't trying to sue me. They just pretty much said, shut down and show us what you did. And I showed them. Thankfully, they did it on a second store. The first store got shut down for processing issues. That one had done $1 million. The second store had only done like 400K. And they asked for the info on that. I showed them the revenue, and they left me be. But I know other people that had done like multi-seven figures. They pursued for damages and tried to get money out of them, but they left me be. And I never did anything. I use the word now in my team, LEM, a core value we have. Like, if it's not legal, ethical, moral, it's not worth it because it'll always bite you in the ass. So I never do anything that isn't LEM. And that's how I am now.
Nice. I will tell you that it's funny that you say what the guy looked like knocking on your door, because after I got rid of this woman I was telling you about, I would get knocks on the door, and it would be American Express suing her or Wells Fargo. But one Shabbos, okay, I get a knock on the door, and it's this Spanish sheriff, the fucking hottest Spanish sheriff I've ever seen, okay?
Wait,
and
where is
I'm
this?
like,
This in Boca?
No, in Miami Beach.
Okay.
I live in Miami Beach. And I'm like, would you like to come in? And she's like, sure. And she said, is so-and-so here? And I said, no, she doesn't live here anymore. And she goes, oh, I really need to serve her. And it was a big, thick, with a clip on it.
Ugh.
And I'm like, do you have a card? So I have your number. I said, we use process servers when we sue people, to collect money and so forth. And I never called her because I'm trying to be a good guy. And
Sheriffs are off limits.
Just try to focus on, one good woman. But bro, this is the fucking smoking hottest sheriff I've ever seen in my whole life.
Fucking was suing you. That was your ex-wife?
They were suing her for non-payment of all of her fucking shit. They just
Credit cards? Man, credit cards are a fucking scam.
Bro, she just never paid anything, and she hid it from me.
Crazy.
Everything she did was a fucking scam.
Sketch.
So
No, credit cards are bad. Credit cards are bad, especially women. Women and credit cards are not a good mix. At all.
So tell me, you corrected me. I said 25 million in revenue. So tell me about your revenue stream and your ramp up, and then how you decided to go into this space and why you're so good at it.
Yeah. So I'm a big believer a lot of people are like bullshitting a lot. And I hate that. So I try to always attack any claim I make with instantaneous proof. So all my numbers are super public on my profile on Instagram. I try to like make it undisputably like you can't lie, and it can't be fake. So I always say to people, if you don't believe it, feel free to go to my story highlights. But it really started ramping up in 2021, as I was telling you. I started, and at that point, I was running an e-commerce store. This was not AirPods, different brand. At my first 8 million in revenue, I made probably $1 million profit. Like all the money I made my first few years from 16 to like 20 was e-commerce. I ran an e-commerce site, an agency that doing marketing services, and then coaching and social media.
Doing about 15% net.
Yeah, at this time, no, probably more at this time because I didn't have as big of a team. Probably like 40% net at this time. That's where things really started to take off for me, though. Running those 3 businesses, 2022, 2023, I was just scaling them, but it got very overwhelming. End of 2023 is when I decided I want to change from this coach that runs an e-com store and agency. It just seemed too small. The vision didn't excite me. I felt like I was just another e-com guru, which just infuriated the shit out of me. And I'm like, how can I be in a spot where I'm like, people look at me like, wow, this guy's a fucking beast. This guy's doing stuff that's just unheard of. How insane of a vision this guy's built with his team. And that's when I thought of the idea of running a holding company and being in this info and service space, not as a business operator, but more of like a growth partner. And looking at it as, instead of trying to run businesses, building teams and building individual businesses that I oversee. So I brought my 5 key people into that vision. I said, look, you guys aren't going to work in the businesses. We're going to install leaders and try to oversee them. And I sold out of my agency. I had 80% majority ownership. I sold to the person who had 20, and now he's the majority owner. I still have a small piece of it, and that's one of those minority companies. And I started a new business, sales training, that 637 group. And pivoting into this 630 or this jail group vision with the holding company, I think it allowed us to go from this like guru stuff to like maybe not a huge player, but a small player in this like real holding company of like some pretty sizable businesses. And the exact revenue numbers, I want to be careful to not fuck them up. But this year to date, between every business into our pockets, revenue, like our net revenue, not what the business did, our cut of it, has been about $9 million. We'll pace about 2025 year to date or through the year. And the net should be between like probably 15 to 30, depending on how things go. So it's sizing up well. And yeah, the majority owned businesses of it is mainly in the that sales training business, like I said, and staffing and recruitment company. Still, we run a lot of coaching consulting events. And then also that growth partnering mechanism. That's the third majority owned business that's bringing in new companies in. So it'll help us we'll work with a company like an agency. And then if the relationship's great, we'll say, hey, what are your thoughts on like, instead of paying us like an agency, paying us like a partner and being the next business in our portfolio? We have equity in some WAP, fan basis, Lumix ads, a new company doing well. They just raised a 15 million post-money Val round last month. So yeah, doing my thing with that. The business equity has been so far one of my better investment plays, with throwing money into like angel investments and stuff. And it also legitimized me a lot.
Risky too.
Yeah,
It's risky
risky.
too.
I did it because I wanted people to look at me as like an investor into businesses and like a real business like magnate, or at least getting to that point, rather than just another course kid with a fucking Ferrari in a house, So step by step. But the seeds are there. And we pay 110 people every 2 weeks right now. We have a pretty big team just on those 3 majority-owned companies. So it's good. Got to get a cool office like you.
Who is your CFO?
CFO. So I have a guy. He's not a CFO. We have a financial controller we hired about a month ago. My money guy, which is my biggest mistake I was telling you earlier. A lot of people fuck around with this stuff. They don't talk about it enough. And I'll be the first, because whoever's listening probably hasn't heard it. You have to be so cautious to realize that the 3 aspects of money is making it, keeping/investing it, and getting that passive income, and then having a lot of cash on hand. Everyone just talks about making money. Very few people, and there's very little financial education around having a lot of it and investing it for passive income. And it's fucking up young kids. It's fucked me up. I'd already have like $10, $20 million.
So that's the crazy thing, because I know you told me what your AGI was, okay, which is a healthy number for last year. So you were 22, okay. I didn't make that until I was 26, and but I've never actually paid too much in taxes because I've always had
Real estate.
real estate. and the depreciation from the asset to shelter the adjusted gross income. And one of the greatest things about real estate is now that President Trump brought back the bonus depreciation to 100%.
What was it at? Was that 60?
So it was a step down under the Jobs Act because of the way Biden did it, and this year would have been 40.
Whew.
Yeah, yeah,
Sketch.
yeah. This year would either be 40 or 60. Maybe 2026 step down to 40. So
And he just brought it back to 100. It's official? That's
it's
what's a big deal?
100 all the way to 2030. It's going to stay the same. It's going to stay 100, not 100, 100.
And that works on real estate only if you're an investor, the 750 hours, or even if you're...
So the easiest thing, which is good that you know that, okay, to be called a real estate dealer, you have to book 750 hours a year on real estate. So just think of it this way, okay? You look at real estate on TV, you can book it 2 hours a day, okay? An hour a day. You're going to be able to hit that, compress that number very, very easily. The greatest wealth in this country is made through owning businesses, having capital, and owning hard assets. And real estate happens to be a hard asset, and it's depreciable. So
It's
you
like
can't.
the fucking gold mine.
It is. It's a license. If you know how to do it, it's a license to print. And when you get good at it, everybody chases after you to invest their money. And we were talking about him, Grant Cardone. He's done really well with it. He does things a little differently. So your acronym probably wouldn't work for Grant, but I don't want to poke any holes in him, okay?
He's had his issues.
Because he's doing good. But think about this, okay? You buy $100 million asset, and you can depreciate it using a cost seg study, which breaks out different aspects, different pieces of the property, whether it's fixtures, whether it's concrete, landscaping, different things that you can break out on a 5, 7, and 15-year basis, okay? And you can accelerate that to 100%. And you can take that loss directly against your income. So when you invest in a piece of real estate, whether you're a general partner or a limited partner, okay, you can still pass that through. And that comes through, obviously, because you have businesses, comes through on a K-1 from the different tax returns, and you are able to deduct that right off your adjusted gross income.
Absurd.
So that year you paid him whatever the number was. If you could have had half of that, you would have paid half of that. If
That's
you
the
had
worst.
okay, and what's great about the real estate is it's cash flowing, it's appreciating, and when you either are good at it, when you get good at it, let's say you start doing it yourself, or you do it with somebody else, or you build a little team, you can buy it and forget it. You just have to make sure that it's managed properly. And we have this crazy thing called inflation. And it's just going to go up every year because it costs more to buy glass. It costs more to buy wood. It costs more for labor. Labor's getting constricted because less people are going into the construction space because they can make money in other different techniques like drop shipping or content creation, or trading, or real estate. So it's the greatest generational creator of wealth because there's one aspect, and it says on the outside of the building, leverage. Because
Massive.
when you can borrow money, it's ostensibly a fulcrum. It allows you to lift something that's much heavier than you. And that gives you an exponential return. And it's phenomenal. And all you have to do is get comfortable with it, do a few deals, make some money, and you're going to see it becomes intoxicating.
I have an interesting question for you, Mark. Because I'm such a big advocate now. I see it now in retrospect. I'm very public. I told you prior, I like to be public. I have a low 7-figure, liquid cash. And then I think probably with all my business equity, maybe a halfway to 8 figures net worth.
Excellent.
Why do you think it's so? Because if I fucking knew this shit about real estate, I wouldn't have bought any dumb shit. I wouldn't, because it's just like I would have literally realized if I
Well, I'm
buy
not a
them.
Ferrari guy, so that's dumb shit.
It's no,
He's a Ferrari guy.
it's dumb
okay?
shit because this.
Okay, I had one. I fucking hated the way it drove. They didn't have paddle shifters back then, and I used to grind I sold it after 4 fucking months, bro.
Well, it's my thing is this.
I'm a good driver, bro. Okay, I mean, and I've always had a stick. I could shift my Porsche with my fucking knee.
I can't even drive manual, but it is dumb shit because this is my thing. I want to be able to stop working if I want. It sounds like you're at that point. You've been at that point.
I love working.
But that's the thing is,
That's what keeps me young.
it's one thing to love it when you don't have to do it. You're doing it because you want to. I want to be in the point where I don't need to, but I know I need to spend like a good life for me where I could retire is when I need 20 million in investments, 5% a year. Once I could burn $1 million a year for fun, that's when if I wanted to, I could stop. I don't think I will, but that's like my first North Star. I want to be at by 30. My question to you is, why is it so not talked about? If I knew this stuff, I'd easily have 5-10 times more cash right now, or at least net worth with real estate and everything. Why do you think it's so not spoken about? Putting money, investing money into real estate, into cash flow producing assets. Everyone's just talking about spending it.
So, let's see. I am 42 years older than you at 65. And see, I grew up in a real estate family. I grew up with 2 grandfathers that were developers. So they were always talking about it. They were always talking about this building, or this is something that they're putting up. And my mother was a commercial real estate broker. So I grew up with it. It was in my veins. And when my grandfather used to go collect the quarters at his laundry machines in the buildings, and he would tell me, "Could you go get that, behind there?" And I'm like, pull it out, and I'm like, "I can keep this, right, Grandpa?" And he's like, "No." Goes in the bag.
Jewish grandpas.
And I'm like, but he goes, "But don't worry, I'll take you to the Royal Castle," which is a burger place that used to be down here.
Yeah.
It's like a knockoff of White Castle. Much better. Because it was Jewish people that ran it.
Kosher?
Non-kosher.
Oh.
Non-kosher. I didn't always eat kosher, and I don't always eat kosher.
Fair. Same.
But I don't eat pork or shellfish. And he wouldn't eat because he ate kosher. But he would sit there and have a cup of coffee, because coffee's always kosher. And this was my mother's father. His name was Eli. My father's father, I was named after. His name is Milton. And he wore a 3-piece suit to work every day. And he traveled all over, and he spent his money. But he made sure that his 4 sons had everything that they wanted. So my dad and 2 of his brothers were dentists. And then his oldest brother was a lawyer, and then he became a judge. And then my aunt, which was the youngest, my Aunt Lillian, she had everything she wanted. And he made sure that the grandkids had everything that they wanted. And he was very good to all of us. And that's kind of what made me realize that when you make money, you give it to your kids and you set them up. And the simple goal is to make sure that they have enough money to buy a home that they want to live in, pay cash for it, and always have some sustainable income. And real estate gives you that. Real estate gives you that ability to have predictable, consistent income and predictable, consistent growth. Now, I don't know why all these fake gurus don't talk about it. They probably don't talk about it because if they actually teach somebody a skill set, they're so insecure that they're worried that that skill set is going to surpass them. So I'll bore you.
Don't do it.
Pardon?
I think also they just don't do it. Because I look at it like it's undisputed putting cash into real estate will make you a ton more. But I think it's because they just don't know. Like I said, I know 2 people who just let me rephrase, who just short-term leased cars worth over $3 million.
That's stupid.
So I know that these guys, I don't know their exact cash situations, but it's just so fascinating to me. They're now teaching tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of young adults to not focus on making money to invest into cash flow producing assets to be able to retire. They're teaching kids to make money to then spend it to be in square one, which is so fucking stupid.
Well, it's ludicrous. Okay,
What do you mean?
it makes no sense. Okay, but I'll probably get shit on for saying this. It's a non-Jew mentality. The now mentality. Okay, when you're raised in a Jewish home, you're raised to be conservative. So I very rarely show a lot of my own personal life, and I don't want to show a lot of it. Obviously, we're doing a little more of it. I didn't know it was called B-roll. Now I'm learning that's what it's called. I'm actually learning how to go live. Okay, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. The whole team does all this stuff for me. I had to learn how to press collaborate when people want to collaborate with me. And then I would press collaborate and they'd call me and they'd be like, why did you collaborate with this guy? He has 4,000 followers. It's stupid. Uncollaborate. I'm like, oh,
I didn't know.
okay. All right, Tanner. All right, Christian. All right, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not doing it anymore. Now at least I know this stuff. But when we did the first video in Weston, it was Erev Shabbos, and we did the video, and the young kid Christian, he chopped it up and he posted it on TikTok. That was the first account that we had, was a TikTok account. And I'm driving back to the beach from Weston, and I got a nice cup of coffee at Starbucks, and I'm driving back, and maybe it's an hour, okay, and not a lot of traffic. Getting ready to get home for Shabbat, take a shower, change, get ready, walk to shul. And he calls me, and he's like, Mark, the video blew up. I'm like, what do you mean? Is that good? Is that bad? What do you mean it blew up? He goes, no, it went viral. I'm like, what do you mean it went viral? What does that mean?
Fuck.
Okay. He goes, we have 1 million views in an hour.
Damn.
I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I'm going home. I'll call you after Shabbat. I'm turning my phone off. I turn my phone on, okay, and I didn't call him. I go to TikTok, and we have 7.7 million views in
video.
25 hours,
Insane.
26 hours, whatever it was. And it was a Grant Cardone reaction video.
Wow.
And I'll show you the cease and desist. I have it framed. It's on the wall.
Oh my god.
Okay, but now we squashed our beef. Yeah. He uninvited me to speak at WealthCom. I remember.
Fuck.
Tanner, you were disappointed, right? We were definitely, we wanted to speak at the basketball stadium. So
I think also I found it's just like, I guess that's what makes real estate special, is it's not that sexy to put the 200 grand into a down payment on $1 million fucking duplex. It's so much more sexy to buy the Lambo. But
but you put that in there, and in 10 years you can buy 10 Lambos.
I know, that's what's so
Why
fucked.
doesn't anybody understand that?
I think it's just the animal. I'm a big believer in like humans do dumb shit because they're like animals at heart.
So this is how ridiculous this whole journey is for me. We do it. That's the 16th of April. So that's what, 15 months? 15 months.
That's the first post.
That's the first post. We posted a few more, and we're in June, and Christian said to me, do you think you could write a course? I'm like, bro, I can write a course in like 3 hours. What do you want me to write? He goes, entry-level real estate. So I write a course. I'll show you. It's in a book on my desk. I always carry it with me. And we filmed it. We launched it on the 20th of June. I had one student at $27. Her name was Lydia Walker. She has 23 units now.
Wow.
She's got about a $2 million net worth in a short period of time, using these exact same simple principles. And we take concepts and we layer them. So we start with simple concepts, and the concepts kind of grow. And when we finish this week, I have to check on what we closed today. We will be at 100 million in closed deals within that baseline community, the premium protege. And it was 207 last Friday. We check every Friday. 207 closed transactions. Now, I know 100 million is not a lot, but these people don't have any experience, any credit, okay? They don't know anything about real estate.
That's great.
And we bring them in, and I teach the course because it's become passionate for me. I really found something that I really like. Now I am getting a little overwhelmed because we're getting so busy, and we are going on a very heavy acquisition spree because the market's imploded all over the country.
The last like year, yeah.
No, it's actually been the last few years.
Really?
And the way the banks were, the way after Dodd-Frank, I don't think you were alive. You were born when?
Oh, two.
'02. So '08 was the great financial crisis when President Obama, which he did something good, he saved the banks. Otherwise, the markets may be very different today. He saved the banks, and then they created this law called Dodd-Frank, Barry Frank and Chris Dodd, and they rewrote banking law. Because banking law meant if a deal wasn't valued at X, you had to value it, and you had to take that loss off your books, and it would hinder your net capital in banking. Today, they keep it on their books. They suppress it. And there's about it could be 4 trillion in toxic assets on the books. There's 3 deals being foreclosed right here in Wynwood. There was a deal taken back.
Toxic deals as in it's not going to cash flow.
They're being foreclosed on because they're not paying their debt service. There was one that was just given back.
I saw that big one in Wynwood, that huge, beautiful building right off 95.
Mm-hmm.
That one's done, yeah? Damn, crazy.
Yeah.
And that's just was it the banks lended incorrectly?
No.
Where was the fuck up there at that high level?
So the methodology is we base everything on data, but we base everything on historic data. So when we do a forward projection on a new deal, it has to hit certain numbers, and if it can't hit the lease up, and we overproject, a lot of times appraisers will overproject. A lot of times developers are going to be over enthusiastic, and they're going to go after something that they shouldn't, which is why we buy existing. We know what the data is in the market. It's all empirical. And then we move the needle very slightly on a deal, and we build a 20 or 30 or $40 million value. The deal in Malibu is different because it's a condo conversion. It's apartments to conversion to condominiums. And the perfect storm happened when the wildfires hit. There are 6,000 units that contracted. So there's 6,000 less units in the market. And some of the existing product got damaged. So we're like the only game in town. It happens to be a magnificent asset on a magnificently sloped ridge right off of PCH, a mile from Nobu.
So beautiful.
So, and we bought it right. We bought it for what you couldn't buy the land for. I mean, you can't buy the land for that because there's no 11-acre parcels in Malibu. So, but that's what we do. We buy these super opportunistic deals that have hair on them. Okay.
Yeah, we save.
And then we apply our principles, our techniques. It's pretty simple.
Boom. No, the next 12 months, I'm like, literally every time I'm thinking of making big purchases, like I really wanted this 6702 Richard Mille really bad. It's like one of those things like 3 years ago, Jacob, $1 million a month, 500K net in a month, I would do it.
Yeah.
But I think now I'm just so bought into this idea that it's just...
Here, you can have mine. I have a few.
I'm so bought into long term. No, it's too nice. I gotta get it. I realize it's fucked that social media, Mark. It's making people think that they should go, and if you make 500K in profit, the thing to do is to spend it. No one's saying that like you shouldn't spend that active income and rather the passive. And it's literally like I'm having to brainwash myself the last year or two into this new perspective. Okay. And I realize I don't surround myself now with people who spend money.
So here's the delicate balance, okay? Growing up, my dad was a dentist. So he didn't make a lot of money, but we had a good home. He had made a good living, okay? And at one point in my life where I started to make a lot of money when I was a little older than you, I did a deal at 25 and I made about a little over $3.1 million in a check on a deal that just was pure luck.
But this was already in real estate, yeah?
In real estate, yeah. And I didn't even have enough money to close that deal when I went to the closing.
Fuck.
And the seller actually took some paper for me at the closing that day. And I took that money. I gave the check to my dad because I wanted to show my dad. Back then you would get a check, not a wire, okay? And my father said, I'm going to take this and I'm going to take $1 million and I'm going to set up a trust so you'll always be a millionaire. I'm like, okay. And then he said, you can take the rest and you can spend it however you want. And he said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to order a Porsche, I'm buying a boat, I'm buying a house, and I'm buying myself a Rolex. And he goes, well, what do you think you'll have left? I said, I'll have like $1.7 million left. Okay. And he said, what are you going to do with that? I said, I'm going to buy as much fucking real estate as I can. And my dad was my first investor. Okay. And he made a lot of his wealth from investing with me in deals.
Wow.
And my uncles too. And
so you breathe this shit. You got it. This has been your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so that's fucking sick.
Yeah, and you want to know the crazy thing? It's the greatest fucking business there is because of leverage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's also I've seen the greatest asset class to have your money in, at least historically. Yeah.
There are other good asset classes. Okay. Cash, in a high yield fund, but you take small pieces of it. You're never going to get killed in a real estate deal. It's always going to continue to grow, or it's at least stable and sheltered. If the market pulls back, it's still there. Okay. I made money from crypto.
Crypto is good.
I made money from, I have a friend who runs a fund where he trades. Okay. I make, 5% a month with him, and he's amazing. He's very wealthy, cheap as fucking hell. These guys throw me a surprise fucking birthday party. They rent out the back portion of Prime, okay? And who the fuck pays the bill? Me. And two of my friends that are there that are very wealthy, one's a billionaire, didn't put down the fucking Amex, huh?
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
What I'll blow. Like, I have a rule. I almost guaranteed will spend at least 20% of my net income. I just vary it because my income fluctuates a lot. I've had months, like my peak month I netted at 800, and this was just from like active income businesses, info service.
Mm-hmm.
But my income's variated so much, so that's also so weird. I've had months, boom, I made 800. I think I spent like 250. I did it forcefully. I was like, I want to go and spend this percent, and I threw a lot of money into crypto and stocks. I just, I never had the urge to get into real estate. I gave my mom 400 grand, and I just said, like, because she had a mortgage on her house, so I said, like, put it in that. Yeah, I think she still has a little bit left, but get some of my cash safer, and just like a little safety net. I also wanted to show her I wasn't poor, because she still is, I think, very worried about me for some reason. But
she's a mom.
Yeah, I guess
I worry about all my kids.
Yeah, it's so funny. I tell her all the because my rent is $23 a month, and she like can't, to this day, she can't fathom it. She just like I don't know the word. It's
a house in Miami Shores.
Yeah.
Why don't you buy it?
This is one thing you said earlier too. I was going to ask you
Go to the owner. Tell him I want to buy it from you.
Yeah, but I thought buying where you live doesn't make sense because I could deduct the lease.
It doesn't really matter. You can buy it in a holding company. You can lease it to yourself. You can create. There's multiple ways of doing things. Okay, all these guys that say it's a bad idea to buy a home. It's not.
It doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't really matter. My mentality of buying a home is that you have a home to make memories in. So when you meet that special girl and you have children, that home is where you raise your children. That home is where you have Shabbat dinner. That home is where you have the holidays, where you have your family come over.
It's like a non-money thing. I'm with you on that.
It's not, but the way you structure it, you make sure that you make money on it. So...
Well, that's another thing. Like, that's the weird, man. The reason I'm so big on it too is because I'm trying to now guide a lot of the people inside of my training and coaching.
Mm-hmm.
That like, hey, this is the thing. Like, it feels really good if you make $500K to go buy the Lambo, but like that's really retarded because you're now opening up this huge vulnerability where you might have to go and work more. Versus like once you get to 500, that's like 80% of the battle to like for most average Americans to retire. So that's why I'm so big on this investment concept of making it you don't need to work, as it's the epitome of why we work. Like probably more than 90% of Americans, they're not working for fun like you.
Well, look at okay. You dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
And you're a very firm believer that you don't need to go to college.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And I have exactly the same philosophy that for me, I have a degree in finance and I have a concentration in accounting. So I'm really an accountant. But I didn't really need to go to college. I went to college because it was, fun. I went to college because there were other things that I did at college. But if you're not going to be a doctor or a civil engineer or a lawyer, okay, or a dentist, okay, or a CPA, what do you need to go to college for?
Totally not
Okay.
necessary.
You can learn so much. Back then it was from a book. Now it's from your phone. And it's all out there. You have to pick and choose who you're learning from. So like you were rattling off like this guy, you asked me about Section 8, or this other guy, you asked about Section 8. The second one that you asked about Section 8, he's actually, in my opinion, I think he does a good job because he worked for Section 8. Okay. Now, Section 8 is about, it takes 15 minutes to learn the Section 8 business. You can learn it in 15 minutes, okay? You don't need to pay Tom Cruise, I just said his name, sorry about that. You don't need to pay him $7,500 to unlock the Illuminati. You don't
Yeah, but
need
don't you
to.
think this is where all chums?
This is the dumbest
But
fucking
doesn't it make you
people
more?
buy this.
Doesn't it make you more by paying the coaching? Because me and you both know $7,000's fucking pennies in the grand scheme of life. I love the analogy too. Even a McDonald's employee makes $1 million over a lifetime. 0.7% of her income is that expensive
And they eat,
course.
and the burgers are pretty good.
Exactly. Don't you think if you're going into Section 8, paying someone who's great at it makes you more in the long run? Or you think it's just unnecessary?
The answer is yes, but I'm going to qualify it.
The person you're paying.
Yes.
How would you
Yep.
do that?
You're going to have to vet them. You're going to have to go back and find people that have actually really done business with them. And I guess you can do that through testimonials and so forth.
Lean
I mean, we have people that buy our premium course, and 3 months later they call and ask for, or they send an email, they ask for a refund because life got hectic. I had one girl say her brother's going through a divorce and I need my money back. I'm like, read our fucking refund policy.
Yeah.
Okay? You can go pound sand.
I always say people think like it's like an invisible bank account sometimes when they like I say like we're very big on that because like 10 million in I had a big fuck up and I didn't have to but I wanted to refund. We refunded like 600K in like 4 months of just bad sales that didn't feel good to me. But we now have really big, we call it a 2-day cool off, and then there's no more cool offs. Like pretty much once you buy, you're in. Like you go buy it. I went about
Yeah, we give them 7 days.
Yeah, and because after that, it's like, dude, this isn't an invisible bank account. People get confused with that.
Look, everybody has buyer's remorse and everything. Okay, and I don't think our salespeople are high pressure. We give a lot of value because right now I'm still teaching 3 of the classes, so that's 3 hours of my week. There are multiple classes that they can sign up for. We just launched an STR, and we're in the process of launching a midterm rental space. And the STR is just flying out the door.
Wait,
Okay?
what's that? STR?
Short-term rental.
Oh, I see, I
People
see.
call it Airbnb, but it's really called short-term rental. Airbnb is a website.
This is my thing, Mark. A year from now, I know I have the active income for it. 10 million in real estate. That's what I want, right? Because I really want to pass this 8-figure number. If you're me, right? You have
How much money do you need to buy $10 million worth of real estate?
$1 million and a half down.
Yeah.
So this is my thing. 500K a month active income. Safe to say over the next 12 months, it'll average out to that, right? Trailing 12 months, it probably averaged out to 250. Active net income into my pocket. How are you playing it to amass an 8-figure real estate portfolio if you're a young yid named Jacob?
Easily.
Like just straight,
Start buying deals.
just
Start buying undervalued deals, forcing the value, finding somebody that will work alongside of you, because I don't think you want to be the guy out there
I think I need a
finding
person-
access to deals. Okay, so number one, we have special access to our deals from my relationships from 4 decades.
Hit me up, man.
So we get I mean, oh, you weren't with us when we went to Orlando, right? They were all. I got 4 calls from 4 different lenders. We were driving to Orlando. Hey, I got this deal. You want to buy this deal?
Wait, so
for
the
me?
lender's calling you to buy it?
I have a bunch of lenders I've done business with for
Interesting.
years.
Well, why don't they buy it themselves?
Because
It's
they're
not their
bankers.
business. It's not
They're
their
fucking
business.
bankers.
Their business is lending the money, not buying stuff.
They're just bankers. They're, look, bank takes a deal back, they got to get it off their books. When they take a deal back, and let's
when it
just take,
forecloses.
yeah, they take a deal back. Let's say it's a $10 million deal. They take it back. They take it off their balance sheet. When they sell it for $10 million, it's net income to their bottom line. So it boosts their earnings. So it really looks good on the bank's balance sheet. So they want somebody that they know they've done business with and that will close. Because in this space, you got to be a closer. You can't be somebody that's a tire kicker. And we get a lot of tire kickers.
They don't
So-
want people that are fucking around. They want people money
They
ready.
want
go.
real people.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just go, here's what I've done, boom, boom, boom. And they all come to me.
Where am I
They-
the safest? Like 100K to 300K down would be like my first place. I'm down to go max. You think multifamily, like a fourplex, or just to go straight into these like 10 door, 20 door, like
I think for you, because you have your income's W-2. It's
No.
okay. I think for you, you do. You have somebody find you a 3 or a 4plex. It's not going to be in a pristine market, but you buy it, use FHA, get the maximum leverage.
so FHA.
And then you-
does it make
and-
sense?
Well, it does if you do it this way.
How?
You live in one of the units,
Oh.
and then after 90 to 120 days, you sublease it. That's the hack around the FHA.
That's legal. You sublease it.
Yep,
Interesting.
yep. But you still have your mailbox there, and you're still spending 1 day a week sleeping there. You're
Maybe
traveling.
sublease it to a friend.
Right. You're traveling for work. Okay. It's the workaround. Okay. Within the first 60 days, they're going to come and inspect if they even inspect. FHA is so understaffed right now. The government is so understaffed because he's cut the staff. They don't even actually come out. You buy the deal, you use the maximum leverage, you fix it up a little bit, you clean up those units, you push the value on it, get the income to a certain level, and then you take the FHA out with a debt service coverage loan.
Why? So you don't have to pay that PMI?
Then you get rid of the PMI. Okay, you've already pushed the value, and then you can take that money that you built in it and use it to do something else with. Now you're not using your own money, and then when you find a nice deal, you can use your own money. You can buy cash. You can buy a deal for cash, clean it up, and then refinance it. You always want debt on a deal, because the more debt on it, the more depreciation you have on it. You need that.
Mark, man, you're an interesting guy.
Yeah.
Interesting guy.
I don't have a bodyguard anymore because the bodyguard was weirding us out.
Really?
Yeah.
I got some good ones. I don't keep. You know, I had a Lamborghini Urus. Another one of my dumb purchases that should have just been a down payment on a house.
What color was it?
Blue, and it got stolen.
What color blue?
Like light blue.
Light blue. What were the seat? What's the
Brown.
seat stitching? Brown.
Did you see my stolen Urus?
No, but I
Did you steal it?
I wouldn't have went with the brown. I
I
don't
got
like
it
the
'cause
brown
it's cheap.
interiors. You got it for cheap?
Good deal. Bad spec. I don't give a shit. I say, they say, what do you want? I say, I want a deal. I don't care. Color, X, Y, Z. Look at this shit. They fucking stole it. So I'm out fucking 180. The insurance should pay me out
That
tomorrow.
actually, I think that's the color we wrapped Isabella's car in.
Maybe.
So my youngest daughter, who's 20 now, she's a junior at University of Tampa, and I'm a car guy. I love old muscle cars.
Really?
Fucking love them. Okay, so she is a car girl, and every car I've gotten her from when she was 16, 17, she smashed. She smashed the rim. She smashed fucking everything. We started out with an Audi A5 2-door. Then she smashed that into the back of a pickup truck.
Oh.
And we got her an Audi A4. That was 4 doors. And then her graduation was what's her car, Tanner? R7.
You got to get her a Tesla. Those things can't crash.
No, she won't drive an electric.
No?
So I said to her, you pick any car you want if you get A's 2 semesters in a row.
Cool.
So she was like, Dad, I want a Urus. Okay. I'm like, okay, go find it. Okay. And she finds a bunch of Urises, and then I don't know. She comes home and she's cooking, and she's making Shabbat dinner, and she goes, Dad, um, I don't I don't think the Urus is a good deal. I think it's a waste of money. So can I wrap my car and I can get my rims powder coated? I'm like, yeah. So she got it like that light. I think it's China blue. Like it's a Mercedes color, and it
She's
came
the
out really
RSQ8.
cool.
The RSQ8 she has, the SUV Audi.
The coupe, this R7, R7.
The
So
Urus is my
we
thing.
have that same car. We have a Q8. It's
Yeah,
our
that
extra.
are- it's
It's
the
an
same as
extra
the
car.
Urus.
We just bomb around it.
My thing I realized, Mark, is it's I'm in a double-edged sword where it makes sense for me to have a beautiful life because obviously I get more respect from people. These nice things they
Yeah,
attract
but
attention.
things don't give you respect. Respect is something that is earned from
Not
doing the
true.
same thing and treating people
Real
with-
respect,
Right.
but the social
right.
media respect.
Well, that's bullshit, bro.
It's bullshit, but bullshit that pays really fucking well. So I'll fucking take some bullshit for $1 million a month. And where I was going with it is like, it's a double-edged sword. Because on the one hand, it makes me so much active income, but on the other hand, I know for a fact, I'd probably have 10 to 20 million relatively liquid in real estate if I just didn't have this fucking feeling of wanting to buy shit. And it's crazy. Like, I really do blame it on like this sub 30 society now with social media that they're just so big on buying shit. But Mark, my words, Mark, you're gonna see from this convo too, it really like realigned me to it as well. I'm gonna be dumping a lot of cash. I'm gonna try to push like probably 40 to 60%. I've already been heavier in stocks and crypto the last year, but now I'm gonna finally pull the trigger on real estate. So I'm stoked for that. Boom, give me some deals, Mark. Give me some Jewish deals, man.
We have deals in here every day. every freaking day.
And you got to get the kids, man. 18-year-old Jacob, man. I wish I knew Mark at 18, dude. I'd be fucking so much richer. I'd be fucking retired right now for a few years.
That's actually one of the questions.
What?
Right, Tanner? Yes. Yeah, it's actually the last question.
Pretty
So,
much that.
I'm going to ask it to you. Last question. I'm going to ask more questions, but if the 16-year-old version of yourself would listen what you know now at 23, what would you tell that 16-year-old kid?
80% of your net income needs to go into cash flow producing assets, so you don't need.
Don't forget
income.
the word appreciation,
Yeah,
because you get everything. You get shelter, you get cash flow, and you get appreciation.
Yeah.
It's a trifecta. That's why it's such a good business.
and I always say like too, like active income's pretty and all, like a lot of people love it, but like active income's hard. Passive income's so easy. Like getting the real estate game. That's why I think the real estate game, it's like such an inherent advantage when you're in it, because like I said, we both get $1 million profit right now. In 5 years, you have that $1 million profit to probably $5-7 million. For me, that $1 million or maybe not that crazy. Who knows? Actually, maybe you could do some shit like that. I know money should double every 7 years on average.
Yes.
But me, at least what I did from 18 to 23, you give me $1 million in profit, probably 5 years later, I have 700 because I probably blew 30% of it.
Really?
Fucking kept some of it. The last 5 years of my life, I just made poor.
Where's your dad?
He lives in
Your
Boca as well.
parents are divorced?
Yeah. The Jewish
I would
man.
have fucking slapped you. But
It's hard though.
You would have grown up around it.
At
Okay.
21, I had $800K net profit in a month. Like that shit fucked me up in a way. I know a guy, actually, a crazy story you'll like. I know a guy, he's 26 now. He made $1 million in a month, and that was like his main thing. So he was running an agency. This one billionaire found him, needed him, boom, paid him $1 million in a month for a bunch of work, all this shit. 2 months, they worked together. It sounds so good from the outside. This guy was 19 when it happened. $1.8 million he had in his bank, paid taxes, $1.1 million, $1.2 million, and it fucked him up because it made him. He invested a good amount of it, but it made him so wired incorrectly for like work to money, and he literally wouldn't want to do anything unless it was $1 million thing, because he's like, why would I? And it really fucked him up bad, and it's a tough spot now, buddy of mine. But I say that because it's so interesting how such beautiful things can have that double-edged sword. But the one North Star now I have is like, make enough money you never need to work again. And the key is a lot of that has to come from that passive income activities. And I think anyone listening, like the 18-year-old version of me, I wish I could see this, because I'd be a lot fucking richer. I think from the outside, people look at me pretty successful and make good money, have good money, but like, you know,
Well, the good thing is that you know what you need to do.
yeah,
Most people don't ever have that epiphany. Most people never have that awakening and say, okay, I'm making this. Now, how do I keep this and how do I grow this?
100%.
Okay. And how do I live a certain lifestyle? I'm sure you've probably gone there,
Mm.
had gone to Poppy Steak and had a dinner.
Oh yeah,
I've never been there.
so that's my fuck
Okay.
up.
And one of my
Never?
friends who
Come on,
goes to
kosher
Juul
steak.
owns the building.
Oh my god,
Okay. That he lives above it. That's his house. That's Russell Gilba's house.
insane.
Okay. Who's a multi-billionaire. Very quiet, low key, orthodox shit. He owns a company called Crescent Heights. You name it, they've built it all over the country. And you wouldn't know that's their house.
Insane.
And they're very low key family. His family office is downstairs.
But that's the
So-
thing is that's what I think like social media killed so many kids on. I mean, you're doing it. You're seeing it. A lot of the guys you've talked about, like they are the epitome of this. You understand, Mark? Like people are going in, they're spending literally what they have in their bank account every month. I've met human beings that do this. It's
Why?
just retarded.
I have one kid. Okay. His name's Raymond Gonzalez. He was 19 when he joined our program. He had an offer. He played soccer. He took a year off. He played soccer in the Mexican League. He had an offer at University of Oklahoma for a full ride playing soccer. And then he had another offer as an academic scholarship. He bought our program. He bought his first deal. It was a small little deal in Enos, which is outside of where University of Oklahoma is. And he bought two more deals. His dad was his investor on his first deal. It was 25 grand. We fixed it up and he made money and they bought the second and third deal. And this is at the end of the summer. And I can remember the conversation. I'm driving to Naples to go see my 90-year-old uncle. And I'm having a conversation with him, his mother, and his father. And he doesn't know what to do. And he asked me, what should I do? And I said, I can't tell you what to do. You need to know what you want to do. Okay?
Mm.
And must have been a 45-minute conversation. This is one of my mentees. And I love the kid. Tanner's met him. This kid is buying his 7th and 8th property. And he called me the next day. He goes, I'm taking the academic scholarship. I'm forming a property management company with my brother. And we're going to buy as much real estate as I possibly can. And he has about $8,000 to $9,000 a month in cash flow from 25 grand. And he just took the concepts and did it one after another after another. And he actually, I spoke to him last week. He said, what should I do? I said, you need to focus on bigger buildings. You need to buy something that's 10 units or bigger.
He went to college.
He's in college, yeah.
I bet he just wanted.
He still works at Lowe's on a Sunday.
Really
Yeah, the kid's he's a superstar.
interesting.
Yep. His name
Very
is
interesting.
Raymond Gonzalez, and he's such a likable kid.
Fucking beast.
Yeah.
I think also like college. I was always saying I don't think college is a route if you want to make a lot of money, unless it's those really nice jobs like you mentioned. I think that college though is an experience. It's a very valuable experience. That's one regret I always had. Like I always say when I was 19, I moved to Brickell and I met this kid. He's a frat star. He was post college at this point. Very smart guy. Now he's worth like $100 million. One of my richest friends actually. I have equity in his company. I'm up nice on that. But long story short, huge company they have. I'm sure actually I could say it. Fanbase. This is the business. Big business in Miami. They do coaching. It's a platform for coaching businesses. They just raised post money $90 million. Long story short though, this guy was almost like it was like we had a little like group that was like, it was like my college experience in Brickell. I had never been to a bar at 19. I'd never kissed a girl. And at 19, I met this guy. Yeah. I was like, dude, I was 16 to 19. I made $2 million, but I was like a loner. I had no friends, super socially anxious. And it was so weird to flip that because I'd always been a very social person pre-dropping out. But just I didn't see anyone. I literally only saw my mom for like weeks at a time. And then I'd see like one old friend I hired who's now my EA. At the time, she was like just like an ops person for me. I hired as a 1099 contractor at 17, who's now been with me for like 8 years, Julie. But long story short, going to Brickell, that was like my college experience in a way. And I always tell people like to not go into college in the extent for the experience. But yeah, like you said, have a fucking plan. Man, it's crazy. People just don't have plans.
Why?
What a shitty way to live life.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense
I love
to
my
me.
plan. I wake up and fucking fired up, man. And man, I
You
got
get up early?
I on average probably 7:38. I had a period, I got fucked in crypto and altcoins. First
Really?
time I hit a million, like 3 months later, I lost like 40% of it because of crypto, which sucked. 2023, middle of 2023, probably June,
Mm-hmm.
I got hit 300,000, huge altcoin drop. I was an idiot. I had like 700 grand in crypto, and half of it, probably a little more than half, was in really volatile altcoins, like shitty coins.
What coin was it?
Altcoins, like weird Arctic
I
coin,
don't even know it.
like think Litecoin, but then the one smaller than that.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, I
I've
got
actually made money with Litecoin.
really.
Yeah.
I got fucked, lost a lot, super depressed. Started waking up at 4 a.m. and I documented it through vlogs. I did a month straight. I did a vlog every day, and I was waking up at 4:30, going to sleep at 8. I mean, I was just a monster. I was just for the sake of not enjoying anything but work. I was eating tuna fish and cucumber. Man, like, again, looking back, I wish it was investing this net income into real estate. I was just keeping it in cash. And it would also make me feel so comfortable. That was peak. I remember seeing like $1.5 million, $2 million in a bank account. Like, fuck, if I just would have pushed like $1 million of that into real estate, it would have been so much better. But I had to have
Yeah, but don't second guess anything.
yeah, it's all part of the game.
But you now know, okay, and you know what to do.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is I try to transgress now to people how important it is to not get bullshitted on this, like, make money to spend it on bullshit. Like, you make money to not have to work.
I have never actually heard that. I never.
No one talks about it. And you know it. This is the thing, you know it, but in your world, it's a given. In your brain, it's like you're a fucking idiot if you make $1 million and blow it. But I'm
Yeah.
telling you, these fucking guys starting in business, they don't get it. Mark, they make like I had this fucking student of mine, not a student actually, he's a partner in business. So that growth partnership, we partner and help a business scale as an agency, and then if they do great, then we try to either invest or through sweat equity get a part of their company, and then they're a part of our portfolio. This guy had like probably I don't know exactly how much money he had, but I wanted him to spend more on ads. He was spending 30 grand a month, making 300 grand. And I said, I want to scale up to like 50, 60K a month and spend, just confirming it.
Yeah.
And he said, no. I'm like, why? He's like, I don't have the cash to do that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We did like 600 grand the last 2 months. Where'd it go? And he's like, dude, you saw I bought the STO. And I'm like, what the fuck? And that's when I realized, like, I think it takes the hump is feeling and realizing that the reason you work isn't to spend the money. And you need to realize that, like, life isn't about things.
Well, I mean, think about it. You'll get to this point. One of the reasons why I do what I do is so that I can give my money away. Okay, because
mean?
so many, you give charity, and it's super important. And there are a lot of people that just don't have the ability to do what you do. So, like a lot of people in our show, they can't sponsor meals, they can't sponsor holidays, they can't sponsor the building campaign. You have to do that. It's incumbent upon you to do that to help people. That's just the way I was raised.
It feels good.
It does. And that's the most important thing, because when you help somebody else, what it does is it helps you to feel better about what you're doing. Okay, you can only spend so much money.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a very simple life.
Yeah.
You know,
No, now I'm at the point too. I feel like I have almost everything I want. Like I was saying that to this girl the other day. Like, there's like I love my house. You could go and upgrade it, but like you said, like my big thing now is I feel like I want to get to the point where I don't feel like I need to work. That's where like you're at, and it's very comforting. Do you ever want to retire out of curiosity?
no,
Interesting.
no,
So you just love it? Like it's just a game?
no. Here's the crazy thing. Like this girl, okay, she tells me on the first date, okay. Now we had dated, but we never really had a very deep conversation because she was super immature. Now she's much more mature. She's like, I'm not going to go on a second date with you if you don't tell me the truth right now. And I'm like, well, let me have a glass of the wine. Let me drink a little of this wine. And she goes, I want to know. And I'm like, and this is an Israeli girl with a heavy Israeli accent. She goes, do you want to have more kids? And I'm looking at her and I said, with you, probably, yeah. She goes, okay, we'll have another date. So we went out again the next night and then the next day. So, because at 65, I would have more kids.
Wow.
Absolutely. But let her do all the fucking work.
Yeah, why
Okay.
not?
Okay. And the girl's a phenomenal cook. Okay. And that's cool. So, yeah,
Okay.
she likes things a certain way.
So do you think family's like your main motivator now?
Family's
What drives
everything.
you?
Family's everything. So this bracelet, we have these bracelets out front. This says I am third. And out front are these plastic bracelets. They say the Lord is first, my friends and family is second, and I am third. Okay? And if you keep that in perspective, if you give everything that God runs the world, he's the chairman of the board of the universe, and if you then realize that your family's there, okay, because you're always going to have your family, and then put yourself after that, then your priorities are
Aligned.
set. And then fourth should be buy as much real estate as you fucking can.
Bingo.
So I'm gonna have to change it now. So, but I'm super grateful for you coming.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. I wanted to say that for a 23-year-old, you're remarkable. I'm surrounded by all
Appreciate
these
that.
young guys. This kid's 22. I don't know how old you are, but it just blows me away that society doesn't really realize that this generation is reshaping the way we do everything. And if we introduced just a little old school mentality like buying real estate,
Yep.
okay, it would change the trajectory of the way this country is going. And hopefully, this new guy in office gets that point across and he does all these great things that he's trying to do. And all these crazy liberals don't slow it down.
Facts.
So, but thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
If you want to say one more thing, tell them. Tell them a little bit about your business, your life, your Ferrari.
A simple guy, man. Simple guy. Just, I think as Mark said, and man, going back, I would have so much more money. And now going forward, I know, I want to be able to just have everything. I'm a big believer in all or nothing. The biggest takeaway I took is someone who, net, the next 12 months, I'll probably do like $4 or $5 million net profit. Last 12 months, I did about 2 into my pocket. Don't make money to spend it because it's counterintuitive and there's no point of that. You make money to have it, invest it, and spend what the investments make you. And that's the real way you win.
Amen. Amen. I don't have anything else to say. That's the best closing advice that could come from this amazing young man. Thank you. God bless.